Hello, I am Disbrew. I'm going to kick off the new year with a roundup, and what better way to start a new year than with a classic title. GoldenEye is one of the classic shooters from the N64, and it's close to a lot of people's hearts. It was going to get a remake originally by Microsoft in partner with Activision, however this was axed just because Nintendo couldn't agree on the rights, but it looks like we could be getting past that trouble as 55 new achievements have just been seen on Xbox Live. And while footage earlier this year leaked of what was to be Microsoft cancelled remaster, we actually don't know whether these new achievements are for that same game actually to be released this time, or for something different, whether it be a remake, a remaster, or simply a re-release. Either way, just because of the nostalgia around GoldenEye, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to get this on Xbox and presumably PC at some point. I'm guessing if PlayStation want to get their hands on the rights to this, then they're going to have to go to war with Nintendo as well. One of the reasons this game wasn't released earlier, it was banned in Germany, and it's just recently been removed. Now, apparently, all of their games actually get removed from their banned list 25 years after they were originally banned, but this one got removed on 24, and the 25th anniversary of GoldenEye 007 is this year. So everything's lining up, all the stars are aligning just to make it seem like we'll definitely be getting something from this game in 2022. Hideo Kojima has been announcing his plans for 2022 as well, including a radical new product that includes experimentation with video and possibly even some kind of radio program. It all seems like a big leap away from the gaming industry for me, but I don't think he actually sees it as such, especially when he says comments like streaming will certainly change the entertainment industry. Changes in how games are offered will have a major impact on the projects themselves and business methods. This will be a year when those changes are clearly visible. Now, I'm very open in the fact that I don't think game streaming is ever really going to take off, but if it does, I think it will simply be down to the chip shortage more than anything else. I think people would gladly want Xboxes and PlayStations in their homes if they could actually buy them. But if they can't, and this continues for many years into the future, then people will very quickly be left with no other choice but to use some kind of streaming service. And if that's right, then Hideo Kojima's vision could definitely come true, in my opinion. That said, when he says something like radio, I'm like, what's that got to do with gaming or even the same sort of skills? Unless you're going to set up a radio station, I'm hoping this is more of a sort of maybe a mistranslation and he means more audiobook kind of territory. If he did, then I'd be very interested in that myself. There's definitely something you can do when it comes to audiobooks more than just reading out the text with sound effects and everything else that you can do with more atmospheric stuff. There's definitely room for innovation in there, and some people have already done it like graphic audio. So if that's the kind of thing he means, I would be very interested in that. The leaks around the next COD title are raging on, with Modern Warfare 2 leading the pack as what it's supposed to be, and given how leaky all of the COD games are with their information, let's face it, it's probably accurate. Now, there are a couple of modes which have been rumoured for it, and the one I'm most interested in is definitely the Escape from Tarkov mode, but we've already been let down with that before. We saw it with Battlefield, where people were comparing it then, and it turned out to be nothing similar. One of the issues with Escape from Tarkov is it actually is its own game, and it requires that much work to put into it. You can't just jerry-rig a mode and call it something similar. It doesn't work. And now if they wanted to put the same resources into an Escape from Tarkov mode that they put into Warzone, I think they could have an entirely new game that could stand on its own 2 feet in the works. But let's face it, that's probably not going to happen. But the second mode has been announced, which is very similar to Rainbow Six Siege, and actually I think could work because they've already got most of the stuff that they need already pre-built for it. They've already got bomb planting, bomb defusal, they've got all the maps for it, and all they have to do is add a few gadgets in, make it attack and defense, and away you go. So I think out of the rumors, this is not only most likely to actually hit the end game, but it's probably more likely to be good. And it's got everything you would expect from a standard Rainbow Six Siege. You can fortify certain areas, it's got the whole attack and defense things, and it's got a new sort of medic system from minor wounded to critically injured and mortally wounded, and you can do things like help your teammates, revive them from stuff like Warzone, apply tourniquets to them, and stuff like that. In addition, the defensive team will have their various different tools, from using hidden locations, which the attackers don't know about, various different booby traps, and cameras, which anyone that's ever played Rainbow Six Siege will be extremely familiar with. Next up, Samsung is pushing monitor technology to hitherto unnecessary limits. Look, this time we're getting a 4K monitor at 240Hz, and no one will be able to power that without the Bat computer, but this is what we're going to be seeing at CES. This is going to be a 16:9 panel in 4K resolution and is going to be 32 inches wide. Now this expands Samsung's line. Before, they're actually pushing a 5120 by 1440p monitor, which is 49 inches wide. It's essentially two 27-inch monitors next to each other, and it's absolutely insane. Again, I think that actually pushes a similar amount of pixels to 4K, so this isn't a big step up when it comes to computing power and pushing pixel density at 240 Hz, but this beast is definitely going to struggle to get 240 Hz on any of the latest games, and you're probably going to have to go back to far older games to actually get that at 4K resolution. And finally, as we start 2022, Steam has set another record for concurrent user base. They do this basically every year. It's been growing at an astonishing rate since it was actually launched, and it doesn't really show any sign of stopping. This time, the all-new concurrent record was 27.9 million people were online at the same time, and 8.2 million of those were actively playing games. This is one of the reasons why getting a game on Steam is such a big deal, and no one really just wants to be Epic exclusive, because they just don't have the user base that Steam does. And when you think that just 2 years ago their record was 18.5 million, and it's now 27.9, that growth is incredible. So any doomsayers that say PC gaming is dead, I strongly disagree, and so does the data. But for now, that's it from me. If you liked the video, press like and subscribe. More videos in the future, and let me know what you thought of any of the topics down in the comments below. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.